did you manage to go up the Lions? I mean, just I don't know anything about climbing.
Oh. Well, we're rather cheeky. We say, well, you just put one foot in front of the other. But you find a route where you can get good handholds and good footholds, and that's just the way you get up the mountain.
Did you use ropes at this stage?
Yes. Depending on the climb, of course, you didn't use ropes on all the climbs.
No.
But especially on glaciers, you use ropes.
Yes. How did you meet your husband, Don?
Met him through the mountains, actually. He was a member of the original BC Mountaineering Club, and I was a member too, so we met quite often, of course, on their trips.
Yes.
There weren't nearly so many people, naturally, in those days doing it.
Well, it must have been a really adventuresome time.
Yes, it was.
And after you got married, you had a cabin.
Oh, yes, we built a cabin up on that long shoulder of dam, and so we could go up there weekends on our own. And then after we had Edith, our daughter, we could go quite nicely up to the cabin, and Don had a nice big fireplace in it, and so we were very cozy at night.
Did Don build the cabin?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Now
you cut the shakes from the big logs, cedar logs, and made the walls and so on.
And the cabin was situated, you said, on Dam, and this is Dam Mountain.
It's Dam Mountain, yes.
Yes. This would be part of the Greater Vancouver Water Reserve today, isn't it?
Yes, pretty well. It was not as close to it as Capilano, of course. It was up above, quite free from any water going to Vancouver.
Yeah, so you spent the weekends there,
yes,
would you?
We spent our weekends up.
With your daughter?
Yes.
I think she started climbing at quite an early age.
Yes, she did. Yeah.
We have a photograph here of you with your daughter Edith up Grouse Mountain.
Yes, she was very little then.
Oh, she looks about 18 months, 2 years?
Oh, she might have been 2. No, she wouldn't be quite 2, I don't think. But she loved it too. She loved the snow too.
Yeah. And that looks like a very heavy pack sack on your back.
Well, actually, it looks worse than it really was because I'm carrying some chairs as well on top of the
chairs
load.
My goodness, what were the chairs for?
To sit in the cabin.
Oh, I see.
The chair.
Oh, I see. So
this was after we had the cabin.
Yeah, I see. This was the cabin on the dam.
On dam.
Yes. Well, you mentioned also to me earlier that you had another cabin around on Grouse Mountain a little later on.
Oh, no, our own cabin. Oh, the big cabin on Grouse.
Yes.
We were there that was for the Grouse Mountain people when they first went up there commercially. And we were there for some time and then finally came down from there.
You mentioned that the cabin was built with the idea of having a tea house?
Oh, we had wild ideas. At least they had wild ideas, but it didn't turn out quite the same. And because now it's really a good place, the Grouse Mountain place. But in the old days, of course, it was not so easy to get to.
No.
Don't have a gondola.
Where would this tea cabin have been located?
Right on the very edge of the plateau.
I see.
Right, exactly, really, where the gondola lands now.
Up at the top of the mountain then?
Well, it's only on the plateau, really. The peak of Grouse is further back.
Yes, that's right. So you had it, oh yes, that would be quite a hike up there.
Oh, yes.
How many hours would it take for a hiker to get up?
It only took us, don't really remember, depending how big your load was going up. But it would take about 3/4 of an hour to an hour, perhaps, depending how you felt.
Yeah. You mean from the bottom?
Well, from Mosquito Creek.
From Mosquito Creek? Wow.
Well, perhaps a little lower than Mosquito Creek because the old street car only went part way, you see. And then from there.
That sounds to me like it was pretty good going to get up a mountain like that in 1 hour.
Well, it just depends. If you go steadily, you can always go further and more easily. If you go an easy, steady pace and breathe with your pace.
Yes, the altitude must provide
it wasn't high enough to bother us at all.
No. Well, we have some shots here of you, the photographs that you took of the local mountains. Actually, you've taken some magnificent photographs of mountains and flowers.
We were both very keen on photography.
Yes, here's one of Seymour Park.
Yes, that's in the springtime when it's really nice skiing all over it then.
Yes, it looks very spectacular. And here's one you call Winter Fantasy on Mount Seymour.
Yes, that's Seymour too. When before the spring comes, when you get the heavy snow on the trees, they're really beautiful.
Yes. Of the three hikes, Hollyburn, Grouse, and Mount Seymour, which would have been the easiest?
Oh, I suppose today Hollyburn probably, but Seymour was our favorite.
It was.
There weren't so many people going over there either, so we used to go to Seymour most of the time.
Did you have any cabin up Seymour as well?
Oh, yes.
Whereabouts were that?
It was lower down the mountain on the west side.
Yes.
So that we could go up there night before and sleep and then spend the day up there and come back and have supper and shut up the cabin and come home.
How would you get to Mount Seymour then? Through Lynn Valley?
Oh, yes, we had to come down the trail to the old Seymour Road, Seymour Creek, and then cross over the ridge between Seymour and Lynn, and go down into Lynn, and Lynn Creek, that is, and then come up to where the old streetcars stop now.
Well, this one is called Summer Solitude. Looks like there's out in Mount Seymour, there's a lot of snow up there
well,
still.
Well, sometimes, depends on the season, of course, how long the snow stays.
Yes.
And we like it to stay as long as it can.
Well, here's a magnificent photograph. This would be in the top of Mount Seymour, is it?
Yes,
Winter on Seymour?
Yes, that's along the ridge on Seymour, and
it's
very just a dead tree, and you can see where the wind has blown the snow and built it up.
And you took these photographs?
Oh, yes.
What sort of a camera did you have?
I don't remember what my camera was then. I have an Exacta now, but we had no problem with our pictures.
No, they're spectacular. And you and Dawn have had a dark room in your home where you did all your own developing.
We did all our own photography,
which
is nice.
And some of the photographs that you've done have been of flowers and trees. These are the dogwoods.
The dogwood.
Yeah.
This one really is very useful to me as a nature advisor for guiding, because most people don't realize that the big white so-called petals are not petals at all. All the petals are in the center of the flower.
Yes,
and these are the bracts to entice the insects.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, you also see when you're on mountain trails spectacular fungi.
In the autumn, a lot of people think when summer has gone that everything's gone with it, but it hasn't. And you get these beautiful fungi ornaments, and some of the mosses along the logs are very nice too.
Yes. And this is
the white rain orchid. It is fond of just very wet places.
Yes.
But they're really very beautiful and very sweet scent.
They look a bit like delphiniums, or
not really, no. But they're quite a treasure to find. You find them in the Rockies too.
In the Rockies. And we have another photograph.
This is the Aerosronium. This is the big yellow one. It has very large leaves, as you see there.
Yeah.
And the flowers are just beautiful.
Yeah.
There is a white one, but the yellow one is really spectacular.
Well, from the North Shore Mountains, you went way up north. North of...
up to Waddington.
Yes, right.
Oh, yes.
Well,
that was
let's take a look at some of the photographs here of Mount Waddington and the area around here.
Well, that's a very special area. It's difficult to get to. Now, of course, you fly if you go by plane.
And how did you get there?
Well, we just went, first of all, in our rowboat up Night Butte Inlet and then Night Inlet, and cache the boat in the bush and take off.